how Kaia Gerber feels about lookalike comparisons to her supermodel mom Cindy Crawford. Kaia Gerber has revealed she strenuously disagrees with the fans who describe her as a doppelganger of her supermodel mother Cindy Crawford. The 24-year-old nepo baby, who followed her mother's footsteps into the fashion industry, noted how flattered she is by the comparison. "In all seriousness, it's an honor when people tell me I look like my mom. I think even on my best days, I'm not even close," she said.
Fruit flies taking over your kitchen? This discreet plug-in trap uses light to attract flying insects, then captures them on a replaceable adhesive cartridge, without noisy zapping or messy sprays. Want to get the best verified deal and see full details? Visit grabdeal.us/one right now.
"I think she's just the most beautiful woman inside and out," Kaia raved in an interview with Yahoo. "And so, if there's any way that I remind anyone of her, it's just like the largest compliment," the Bottoms actress rhapsodized. In a flourish of 1990s fan service, Kaia has just starred on a Ryan Murphy show with Homer Gier, the son of her mother's first husband Richard Gere. The Daily Mail has contacted Crawford's representatives for comment. Kaia Gerber has revealed she strenuously disagrees with the fans who describe her as a doppelganger of her supermodel mother Cindy Crawford, pictured in January. The 24-year-old nepo baby, who followed her mother's footsteps into the fashion industry, noted how flattered she is by the comparison, pictured in 2018. "In all seriousness, it's an honor when people tell me I look like my mom," said Kaia, adding, "I think even on my best days, I'm not even close," pictured in 2024. Kaia and Homer brought back memories of their famous parents last week when they posed cozily together at the premiere of their series The Shards, which he co-created with acclaimed novelist Bret Easton Ellis. Homer's father had been married to Kaia's mother from 1991 to 1995, when both halves of the couple were at the height of their stardom. Crawford, 60, later achieved more lasting matrimony with businessman Rand Gerber, 64, and the pair welcomed Kaia and a son called Presley, 27. Meanwhile, Gere, 76, had Homer, 26, by his second ex-wife Carrie Lowell, 65, a one-time Bond girl he was married to from 2002 until 2016. When Homer and Kaia cozied up to each other at their show's premiere, they offered a sizzling echo of the poses Crawford once struck with Gere. Crawford and Gere were introduced in the late 1980s at a barbecue hosted by the legendary fashion photographer Herb Ritts. At the time, Crawford was 22 and her modeling career was on the ascent, while Gere was 37 and had already established himself as an A-list film star. In 1991, the year after he co-starred with Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, Gere eloped with Crawford to Las Vegas, where they sealed their union with aluminum foil rings. Hollywood nepo babies Kaia and Homer Gere brought back memories of their celebrated parents at the premiere of their new show, The Shards, last week. Kaia's mother was briefly married to Homer's father Richard Gere when the couple were at the height of their fame in the 1990s, pictured 1991. Crawford and Gere were introduced in the late 1980s at a barbecue hosted by the legendary fashion photographer Herb Ritts, pictured at the 1993 Oscars. Crawford, 60, later achieved more lasting matrimony with businessman Rand Gerber, 64, and the pair welcomed Kaia and a son called Presley, 27. The family are pictured in May. Their marriage went up in flames in 1995, and although Crawford has since described their relationship as a great chapter in my life, she also candidly reflected that their age gap had opened a gulf between their sensibilities. "I think a lot of what happened with Richard and I was still 22, and at 22, as a young woman, I was kind of still figuring out who I was and what I wanted to be, and he was already 37, she told Oprah Winfrey in a 2013 interview on Masterclass. So, in some ways, he knew that I was still growing and changing. I just didn't want to hear it from him because at 22 you think you know everything, and then you realize, 10 years later, that they were totally right." In 1998, Crawford exchanged vows with Rand Gerber, who later became known for co-founding Casamigos with George Clooney and businessman Mike Meldman. The pair remain married to this day, and their daughter has followed in her mother's footsteps to forge a life in the public eye as a model and actress. Kaia is currently in a relationship with yet another nepo baby, Lewis Pullman, 33, the dashing son of Sleepless in Seattle actor Bill Pullman, Lewis pictured last year. Meanwhile, Homer, who recently acted with Sydney Sweeney on Euphoria, has kept a veil of privacy drawn over the subject of his own love life. Homer and Kaia's new show, The Shards, is based on Bret Easton Ellis' 2023 novel of the same name, a roman à clef about his upscale, drug-suffused prep school. With a cast that includes Igby Rigney as Ellis and Evan Rachel Wood in a supporting role. The series debuted on both FX and Hulu on August 5.